a threat. And one of the things that can't be attacked is your self-custody Bitcoin. And one of the things that can be attacked is the ETF. You can't be exposed to that. That's my view. It's not a good idea. And by the way, that'll hit MSTR too. It'll probably hit other stuff as well.
Friends and enemies, welcome back. Canadian Bitcoiners podcast.
Friends and enemies, welcome to the CBP. Wanna be better informed? Listen to Len and Joey. Sponsors taken care of right off the top. Bull, Bitcoin, and easy DNS. The media is feeding the slop. It doesn't matter what topics discussed. Quality entertainment and information you can trust.
That's being planned or at least discussed. You know, we're not going to allow
quality
people to buy
entertainment and information you can trust. Send the guy some value, boost them with some stats. Bitcoin is a scarcity asset. I mean, it's just a fact. Geopolitical, national, down to the local cloud.
Friends and enemies, welcome back to the Canadian Bitcoiners podcast here on a chilly December night. My name's Joey. That's Len. We got a lot to talk about, Len. A lot to talk about. What's going on?
It's gonna be a longer than usual show, Joey. I think so. Just you got to buckle up because it's.
Oh my god!
There's no way we could leave this shit on the cutting room floor. The clown world is fucking off the rails. That alone, we could probably do a 2-hour show, but we're not.
Yeah,
we'll get to the main stuff. Joey, how are you, bud?
I'm great, man. I'm great. I was just saying to you before the show. Went to dinner last night. I'm moving a little slow today. I think I'm also sick, which is another thing to consider. My daughter's been sick for like a week now. We had to go to the emergency last week. Typical new parent stuff, probably panicked, but whatever. It's been a wild 7 days. My wife is absolutely trucking through her own illness, plus my daughter's, plus now my slow movement today. But we're good, man. We're good. Price of Bitcoin way down, but I think all things considered, we're not even too worried about that, are we?
Depends if you're buying or selling. If you're buying, you're happy. If you're selling, you're not happy.
Yeah.
So so whatever.
What
it is.
Yeah, we'll talk about that and some other stuff today, as you guys know. Of course, the sponsors first. EasyDNS, best place for you to host your content, buy a domain. Mark is the friendly neighborhood registrar, as he likes to say. And if you're going to EasyDNS, you can also do some virtual private server stuff if you're into that, whether it's Bitcoin Node, Nostra Relay, some other stuff as well. We just had a listener of the show open up another account with Mark on the back of some virtual private server offerings, which is pretty cool. I don't know, Len, are you a VPS guy? How many VPS tasks have you undertaken in your time?
I do everything locally, so no.
Okay, yeah, I like
to be the master of my domain, to deal with my own stuff like that.
Mark is available if you don't have that preference, and of course takes Bitcoin as well. Been doing that for more than a decade. Use our promo code CBP Media, get half off whatever you buy from them the first time through, which we like. Other sponsor, Len, who is it?
Bull Bitcoin, right? A good time to buy Bitcoin because the price of Bitcoin is comparative to previous few months. It's a great time to buy. Or if you think it's going to go down, a good time to sell. Either way, Bull Bitcoin has you covered. You could sell your on-chain, you could sell your Lightning. Fees are still very, very cheap. So I would suggest still use on-chain buys for the not too distant future, but at least learn some different options out there once fees do go up. And when you do, and when they do, at least Bull Bitcoin, it gives you the option to do when a high fee environment, you could use Lightning or whatsoever. So besides that, you could do limit orders. They're non-custodial, Joey. When you're dealing with a non-custodial exchange, they're not holding on to your Bitcoin. Right? How many fucking times we talk about do not give up your keys? So many people out there, they buy Bitcoin, leave it on the exchange, and think it's safe. It's not the case. With Bull Bitcoin, it doesn't give you that option. To do the buy, you got to provide an address. It doesn't have to be a right address. There's got to be just a fucking Bitcoin address. That's the only way they're going to facilitate the buy. So check them out. If you use our code below to sign up, by doing so, it's going to be taking off some fees moving forward for buying and selling in perpetuity. Also, you could pay bills. You can send money to people selling Bitcoin.
You can talk to Guillaume in the live chat if you want. Just make a request to talk to him. Yep.
Not just him, but also his colleagues. People that are trying to onboard onto Bitcoin and need a helping hand, they will help you out to do that. They have an excellent team at that. So check them out. Safe, secure, and they will usher you along if you're new to the game.
Yeah, I love Bitcoin Mentor as a product / service, but if you don't want to pay, Bull will help you. They'll do it. They'll take time out of their day to do it. I started a DCA, a daily DCA on the Bull platform with the wallet and Liquid and everything last week. I think I was telling you guys when Shakepay made their announcement, I thought, you know what? People are going to be asking about this, so I better learn how to do it. And I got to tell you, Len, it is the smoothest process I think I've ever seen for a DCA. Self-custodial DCA is liberating. It's so good. So good. I use the Bull wallet. I even use the Recover Bull to set up the wallet, which for me is great. I'm not going to keep a lot of sats on that wallet, as Francis says when he's talking about it. It is a banging product. I cannot stress enough how good it is.
I haven't touched it, but Recoverable. I read about it just briefly when it came out.
Yeah.
And yeah, I got that. I've just been so fucking
busy
lately.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Whatever. This is our last show before we go to the Christmas episode.
Yeah.
So next week it's not much prep except for the stories, the cities which I have. 8 different.
You got 8 stories? Okay, I'll try and get 8.
I have 8 head-to-heads. I'm gonna break this up, give you 4. I'll keep 4, and then we'll rock from there. So you find your own stories, I find my own, and we'll go from there. Yeah.
Okay, I love it. Great. All right. You want to do some boosts?
Yeah, so we've got a few of them. So Mo BTC Dick, these are the top 5 this week. So thank you everybody that did submit this. So Mo BTC Dick, 500 sats. Said Len mentioned some 90s JDM legends last episode. I'm curious if he has a favorite. I got myself into a 04 Toyota Aristo because I'm a 2JZ fanboy. Those are pretty powerful motors. And like the Mr. 2, the MR2, we used to call it Mr. 2, Eagle Talons, Type R Integras, NSX. Sorry, NSX, obviously. The RX-7 is a great car. Those are so windy motors. It's a lot of fun. The Miatas are good. 50-50 weight split.
You know what was nice too? The Honda Preludes were nice too. A lot of my high school buddies had those.
H22 motors. Those were they're very solid. It's too bad we see them. They don't see too many around these days. The Del Sols I liked. So yeah, and on top of that, Joey, sad day this past week. My car, I think, finally bit it. Still drivable, but it's fucking done. It's fucking done. You know, I did the math. I've been in this earth for 48 years, 24 of which I had that car. So half my life I've had that fucking car.
So wait, what are you going to buy now?
I bought another one. I bought a Honda Fit.
Yeah.
And I like subcompact cars, and I found one 6-speed and low kilometers. And yeah, I pick it up this week. So I'm going to be driving that for the rest of my time here before I pack it up and move somewhere else. It's got about 10 years in it. So it's a little bit more than what I need. Yeah. Business Cat. Thank you, Business Cat. I prefer this rather than the stream sats because this way you get more bang for the buck. 1, 2, 3, 4 sats. I love the number. He says powerful Twan, and he does the flex and inspiration to me and every home heating hashing hero. Yes.
Yeah, Twan and I were at a dinner last night, and a lot of the guys at the table were impressed with the product and the idea behind heating your house and getting paid to do it. It's amazing that no one's really considered this already. And he's a guy who's been working on it for some time. Great product. And he's shipping again too. He was telling me he's got the crate size down to like 13 inches or something like that. It's so small in terms of like the height of the crate. So the unit continues to improve. And one of the reasons he was telling me that he doesn't mind sharing some of the stuff about his product is because he's innovating so often that it just doesn't offer anyone any advantage over him, which tells you something. We like that.
Business Cat, again, 1337 sats. He's getting his money's worth here.
The lead 1337 is lead, right?
Oh, it is. That's right. Yeah. Not up with the lingo. Anyways, the state steals your freedoms, then sells them back to you and calls it permitting.
Yeah.
Shoot more moose, buy less permits. Remember we talked about that story about that guy that was fined. What was it, 5K or something, or 7K for shooting? By the way, moose are fucking huge. So if you do shoot one, I don't know how you're going to drag that motherfucker back home, but that's a lot of meat.
Yeah, I don't think you have to drag it. I think someone will have a tool for that. I'm pretty sure.
You got when you're shooting it like on site. It's not at the fucking butcher, right? You got to get it from A to B. So it's a tough challenge. Doug, 2100 sats. He says, fascinating stuff. Would love to get a system like this fitted to my mother's house. No cheap electricity in the UK, but plenty of solar panels. Fancy a trip to Blighty Twan? Twan, if you want to go to the UK, maybe I would wear a bulletproof vest or something. That
stab armor. Yeah.
Yeah.
Chainmail. Sad.
And then you'll be okay. So, yeah. Last but not least, we have Hammertown OG 5000 sats.
My guy.
He says, you guys are correct. Canada does have an immigration problem. Milton Friedman once said, it's just obvious you can't have free immigration and a welfare state. Canada does not have the public infrastructure and social system to support its domestically born population. Unemployment is out of control while classrooms and hospitals are overcrowded and underfunded. Stop immigration, stop foreign aid, start helping the Canadians who have paid their taxes their entire lives to build these services.
Amen. I'm with you on that, man. Hammertown OG. Every day we get closer to me saying, let's go meet at the Collins Brew House in Dundas for a beer. These comments, I'm sure we could solve some of the world's problems over a pint. That's for sure.
That's it for the boosts. Those are the 5 top boosts of the week. Thank you, everybody, for donating. I have nothing else to add to
Me
that.
neither.
We have no shows on the horizon.
No.
Next week we have our Christmas episode, and then
we'll be getting back on the interviews in the new year. I've been busy. I haven't done a sip and rip for 2 weeks because my daughter's been sick. So hopefully this week things turn around. I think they probably will, and we can get back on that. I do want to talk about the Trump, quote unquote, new Monroe doctrine on the sip and rip, but it's kind of an old story now. I'll think about it anyway. I got lots on my in my bookmarks folder for that show. For the next one.
Joey, the clown world is fucking. It's
accelerating. What is the word? Accelerating. It's accelerating.
The new citizenship rules are in today, and it's funny. Like, people are pissed off about it, but a lot of European countries have those new citizenship rules that are laid out by Canada. So this is like, it's old hat for a lot of European countries.
We're not breaking any new ground here. I know.
No, definitely not. And by the way, if you want to get I'm not sure if I told you this, but the old country, my wife's getting her passport tomorrow or Wednesday. Same day. You go in, give your documents. It's same day they give you the passport. There's no fucking wait for 2 weeks, whatever. Same fucking day. You don't pay any extra. Imagine that. Anyways, Shakepay.
Shall we talk about Shakepay?
That's the first thing.
Yeah, I mean, this is I really don't I don't like this at all. I'm gonna actually find the
well, let me just
you talk about it. I'll find it.
No, I'm gonna give very, very brief and then hand it over to you. So we have the 3 new tiers out there: the base, bright, and blue. Those are the 3 different tiers, and each gives a different shaking rewards. So when you shake your phone, you get 10 sats for base, up to 100 sats for bright, and up to 500 sats for blue. And you also get different rewards for using the Shakepay card, interest on cash when you leave it on there. So essentially, to become a Bright member, you have to exchange $100 or receive $200 in eligible direct deposits. To be a blue, that's the highest tier, you have to exchange $1,000 or receive $2,000 in eligible direct deposits in a month. There you go. Very basic, very, I don't want to give any opinion here. I know you have something you want to talk about.
Yeah, I view this as okay. Let me start by saying this. People ask me in the comments for stuff. I got a couple of DMs too, and I can see on Discord there's a few comments, and I'm getting some messages there as well. I'll just address all of the concerns here in one place, or try to. When I say Shakepay has, I think, decreased in the decrease the quality of the product it offers. I don't say that because I don't like the team. I don't like the company. I like the team. Every time I see Carlo, it's a warm hello, a warm conversation. Same with the girls who work at the company and some of the guys there too that I've seen at the conferences over the years. And obviously they were a sponsor of the show for a long time. Amicable breakup. There's no issue at all. I wish those guys in that company the best, but I do think you're seeing a pretty steady decline in terms of what is being offered over there. And the reason that decline is so obvious and so stark, Len, is because when that product first released, it was the only game in town, and I thought it was really good. We took them as a sponsor because we thought they were a really good product. And
we used them. I used them, right? Like,
of course. And you know what? I recommended it to people when they were signing up. It was like the thing that was easy. Shaking sats was a nice way to get people involved and give them a little skin in the game. And one of the reasons that the decline has been so stark is because it started out so generously giving this Bitcoin away to everybody. 21,000 sats you used to get if you were shaking your phone about 8 years ago, 7 or 8 years ago. So you used to get 21,000 sats for every shake. And then eventually it decreased and decreased and decreased. And then the thing I think that really threw the client base for a bit of a loop, and on Twitter, they're not getting a lot of love neither on Reddit. The thing that really throws people for a loop is now they're being forced to leave a product in which they're entrenched, the bank. It's a deposit of your check every 2 weeks. It's more daily usage of the card. It's a bunch of different things. And as we talked about on the show, there's this thesis in tech and in business that to get somebody away from an entrenched service, or a service in which they are entrenched, I should say, the new product needs to be 10 times better. And you could make the case the Shakepay was 10 times better when you were going there every day and getting a couple of bucks for free in Bitcoin, when you were going there every day and your shaking sats, was going up by a significant amount as your streak built. Now I think you had to have 1,000 days of shaking for 1,000 sats, plus use the card every week, plus maybe some other stuff. Now you can't get to 1,000 sats. If I pull up the thing here, you can't get to 1,000 sats on shaking sats. I think the most you can get is 500 now.
Up to 500, by the way.
Up to 500.
You could be a blue member and still not I'm not sure how it determines.
Yeah, I don't know. But so the total reward is decreased quite a bit. And to me, if you're gonna try and take on the bank, there's not really a chance to do it in a Bitcoin debit card app. I don't think the banks in general do two things well, right? They offer protection for your funds and they offer convenience when you spend. And they do that basically with the credit card on both sides of that coin. So, when I use my credit card at the bank, I don't have to worry about seeing a transaction I didn't approve or trying to track down a fraudulent issue or whatever. And on Shakepay, you would have that problem. And I think the other thing too, Len, that is weird to me that they don't make this connection or don't seem to be making the connection. People don't have money, there's like an obvious, there's an obvious cavern here between the thesis of Bitcoin that people don't want to save in cash, don't want to have cash, and don't have any cash to spend because of fiat debasement. And then also the suggestion that you have to deposit your paycheck and then spend cash instead of credit on their platform to keep the rewards going. I don't think this is good for them. And like I told you guys, and maybe I said this in the bull chat or somewhere, but I think the problem that they're going to have now, and I actually think this is probably part of the reason they've made the change. They're being asked what their daily active user base is. And the daily active user base is not the people who are looking at investing in that company. If they're talking about going public, whatever, they're not going to care if people go there to shake their phone. They want to know the people that are using Shakepay. And so those people are buying and selling Bitcoin or Ethereum, I guess, on that platform. They are using the card. They're doing deposits. They're doing all this other stuff. Those are really what your DAU numbers should include. And most, I would guess, VC firms want to see those numbers sans the shakers. And I bet you that was part of this too. So we're going to find out a couple of things over the next little while. Number one, how much did shaking sats contribute to those numbers? Number two, how much did shaking sats contribute to the daily active user base increasing, right? Because people sign up just to do the shaking sats. So that's two figures we're going to find out about. And then the third one on the Shakepay side, this will be an internal thing, I'm sure. How many people can you convince to leave their bank for your app? Because that's the product you're selling now. You're trying to sell a bank substitute without the credit ease and the protection. So they can say that they're insured and your funds are safe. Like, that is true. They have insurance for the funds, but it's not true that if something goes wrong with a transaction, they'll be able to reimburse you. It's not true that you'll ever have a physical card. It looks like, I don't know how much that matters. And so you have these problems that I have never seen a physical Shakepay card.
I'm not looking at.
I've never seen one. If I go on my phone, I have the card in my wallet on my phone. Yeah, I do. But I've never actually seen a Shakepay card. So like these things.
What's the difference between that and the physical? Like, for somebody like me, I only use
for
a physical
example,
one.
I think I told you this a little while ago. I had what the bank thought was a fraudulent transaction on my credit card about a month ago, and I couldn't use I couldn't do any online purchases. Amazon wasn't working. I think it was around the time I was trying to buy Arc Raiders. I couldn't get it to work. I had to use the card in person only until I was able to get through to somebody at the bank and confirm that it wasn't a fraudulent transaction. So you sometimes you need that physical card in lieu of a digital option, even when the transactions aren't fraudulent. And so you have these like false positives that happen sometimes. This is a real concern. And
so you went to a merchant in person and making that buy, you mean? Is that what you're
yeah,
doing?
I
So
went
can't
to,
you use and you can't use what's on the phone in like replacement of having the card. They won't accept
No,
that and say,
no.
take that as okay.
no. Yeah.
Is
You gotta
that
actually use the
I
card.
am not one that has anything loaded up on my phone. So in
Yeah.
terms of cards. So I'm asking because this is
Yeah.
uncharted territory for me.
So you have that problem. And I also, if I'm looking at the page here, the sort of whatever announcement page, it's actually their legal page, but you can see the shaking sats thing here and everything.
What's
the
their goal?
interest? Well, I don't know. Here's the thing, right? The interest rates are not that good. Like interest on CAD deposits 3%. I got news for you. You get more than that on a stable coin. You know, like you can use a stable coin and get more than that. You could stake some shit coin and get more than that. And you know, these are obviously, they present different risks and different benefits, but the idea that you'd keep CAD for 3% at the top tier to me is like, it's not a good idea.
That's going to be adjusted depending on demand. And
it'll change.
on
it'll change. And so they, at some point,
just
that's
like
the thing, right?
fucking
So at some
ballers did
point,
with
if they
his.
get all these people, then they're gonna have to lower those rates too. And
But what's
again,
the
like,
goal? That's the thing is, what are they trying to achieve?
they're trying to
And I
get
don't
people
really
to leave
know.
their bank for the app. This
So
is, yeah, it seems like that to me.
So this is their goal. They want people to use their product in lieu of the bank. They want to be like a bank like.
I believe
app.
that's
So
the case.
Is this a feasible goal? Do you think that this is something that they can achieve?
No, not right now. No.
Is it because of circumstances or is it because of their decisions? If it's their decisions, then what could they do to achieve that goal?
They can't.
If
The
Joey
reason
was
they
in charge,
can't,
if Joey was the CEO, how did they get there?
the reason they can't achieve it now is because people are not trying to get banking services from exchanges. And you're actually seeing this. You know, you're seeing companies like Bull Bitcoin take market share because they are a exchange that focuses on buying and selling Bitcoin. You can do some other stuff there with your Bitcoin, but there's no credit card, there's no interest payments, there's no any of that stuff, right? To get people to leave their bank, you have to offer, I think, a credit option. This is a thing you must do to get people to leave their bank. Because at the end of the day, as we said before, the bank's product is debt. And if you can't get debt, you know, consumer debt or mortgages or whatever with these guys, you're not going to get it. Because, you know, Len, at the end of the day, you know who's got a better product than these guys and has a credit card and has mortgages? Wealthsimple. Like, so now you're going to tell me that you're going to try and get people to leave their bank and not go to Wealthsimple, which is a better suite of services where you can also buy Bitcoin and I think now also send it off platform. Like this is a better, it is inarguable. This is a better product. So what is the plan at Shakepay to get people off of these services? I just don't see it. I don't understand.
I don't know what their goal is. I think you laid it out, and I'm just learning about it today because I just don't know. I don't think they'll be able to achieve it just based on what I see and what I hear. Good luck. I don't dislike them. No. I don't want to see them go tits out. I'd rather have options. I'd rather have competition out there.
Of course,
but it is what it is. The reality is that the shaking of the stats is the one that stings it the most people, I believe. And the thing is, when you were talking about 21,000 sats, that I'm not sure how long ago that was. I think it was 7
like 2018. It's like 2018. Yeah.
So it's been a while. It was 7 years ago. It's 8 years ago almost. And so like that's consider how much Bitcoin, the value of Bitcoin was at that time. 2018, it started off around 18, 19K, and it dropped to like 4-ish K in 2018. In 2019, February was the lowest, if I recall correctly. So yeah, like that's what you're dealing. Now we're at 80 something thousand. Even we're like complaining at 86,000. Man, you know, how long have they been at 1,000 sats for?
It's a good question. I'm not sure. Don't forget they did rug pull too. Like the other problem I have with this is that if you're 1,000 sat shaker, you get immediately nuked back to 500, even though you've spent time building up that streak, right? Like I realize that that's not really a brutal gripe to make, but it just everything there is becoming more and more corporate.
It was destined to be like this because they were catering to people that did not use their platform, just simply open up the app and shook the phone. That's the people that were benefiting from the most. And who was paying for it was everybody that used the fucking app, used the service. And that's too bad. So they chopped them at the knees, those people that don't use their services, and now they're going to get 10 sats per shake.
Yeah. It's tough.
I
man.
think
it's tough.
I think that's the right move in that respect. Maybe the 500 may be too low. I don't know. But let's be honest. When you were giving out 1,000 sats, what was the price of Bitcoin? Half the price that it is now? Less
Ish,
than half the
yeah.
price?
Yeah.
Then 500, if you're just doing apples for apples comparison, then 500 is still 1,000 back then.
Yeah.
Without taking into consideration.
I'm not saying you're wrong,
inflation
but of course the adjustment only works one way, right? When the price goes down, they don't.
Oh, they're not
bump
going to adjust it higher.
Of course not. And so,
No.
like, you know, why then that argument's fine, but it kind of dies when you think about the other side. You know, I just there's more and more, in my opinion, likelihood that these guys end up being acquired by somebody. I think Wealthsimple is a good target for that. Like,
what do they want? Their user, their database
their users. Yeah, the software. I don't know, whatever. I'm having a hard time figuring out what is the Shakepay product that's going to get people to come back and use the app. I just don't know what it is.
Do you think that they are the most widely used?
Yeah, for sure.
In Canada.
For now. But even like, you know, other companies are, I think they're going the wrong direction. Like I look at Bitcoin Well adding stuff like this too. And I just think, why? You know,
Bitcoin Well's adding what?
I think they added some other banking services to their platform too. I'm pretty sure. I'd have to go look. But like if you're trying to be successful as a Bitcoin exchange, you need to be focused on the exchange part. Like you need to be focused on making sure that people get the product they're after when they come on your platform. And if people want to buy Bitcoin and sell Bitcoin on your platform, then you damn well better be the best at it, because there's other places you can do all that other shit that you're not going to ever be better at than them. Ever. Like there's no way, you know, and like sometimes I get on Wealthsimple because it seems to me like they're becoming a bit of a cruise liner too, and they don't pivot quickly and don't add stuff quickly. But, you know, I have to say, which of those companies has innovated more over the last 3 years? It's been Wealthsimple, not Shakepay. And like they're trying to play catch up now with digital TradFi, and they're not able to do it. They're not able to do it, in my opinion. Anyways, if someone can tell me why I'm wrong, it looks like the chat, you know, broadly agrees. But, you know, is what it is, man. This is, like you said, bound to happen, and seems to me like it's going to continue to corporatize over there, and that's all there is to it.
Showing corporatization of Bitcoin and Bitcoin treasury companies. Let's talk about them.
Yeah.
Looks like they're starting to buckle. Some of them are starting to sell some Bitcoin. Paper summer is long gone, and we're in the dead of winter. A company by name of Satsuma. I've
just another
never heard of this company before.
Yeah, me neither.
Satsuma. And it's a UK-based firm, and they're publicly traded. And they announced they sold 579 Bitcoin. I had no idea they had Bitcoin in the balance sheet to begin with. But the reason for this sale, Joey, this is fucked up. They did this because they didn't plan for Bitcoin to have a bit of a hit. And it has since summer, right? And they needed to pay off a fucking loan that's due December 31. So they had to raise cash, and they had to raise enough to pay 78 million pounds for this loan. And that's why they're selling the Bitcoin. So what do they have left? 620 Bitcoin, which means they sold almost, not quite, half of the Bitcoin that they had before. And one more round of this type of sale, they'll be known as a former Bitcoin treasury company. And so this comes off, we had 970 sold by SQNS. Naka was sold 367. And there's, you know, a few of them that it's getting some choppy waters for them, and they got to deal with some loans and some outstanding payments they got to do. And what are they going to do? Is sell the Bitcoin at a loss, because they still have to take their private jets here and there. Good for them.
Yeah. We've talked about this before. And actually, I was trading voice notes with Mark a couple of weeks ago while I was in the car. And we were talking about exactly this, how debt, you know, if you're going to try the MicroStrategy debt play, then you damn well better have the capital and the cash flow to do this. Structured debt is maybe the most important part of the MicroStrategy playbook, and these other companies are trying to do it. They're issuing debt and trying to do corporate notes or whatever, but it doesn't work because, as I said, like I feel like I've said this a million times, but I'll say it again. The show has new listeners every week, so why not? You can't out MSTR. They can weather the storm more and more effectively than you can or will ever be able to, because they just have all the firepower. And if you think you can outdo them, I wish you the best of luck, but this is going to be the outcome. There's going to be more of this. Like, we haven't really talked about Maller's 21 company either with Cantor and Lutnick and those guys, but
we talked about it last week.
Yeah, kind of. But, since then he's done some interviews.
Live.
That kid's a fucking fraud. He's a fraud. He's like all these Bitcoin treasury guys.
Hey, they're not TV, a Bitcoin treasury company.
That's what he says. We're not a treasury company. Okay, well, what's your cash flow idea?
Well, the only thing they do is they buy Bitcoin.
And where do they put it? Do they put it in their pocket? They put it in the treasury, and they will for sure issue corporate debt. These guys all just copied MSTR, or they're trying to. And to me, it's unforgivable. This is an unforgivable mistake by these companies, and they really did lie to investors. Now, the investors should have known that this was possible because you can look at the way that MSTR is collateralized and over collateralized and strong in terms of their debt balance and their ability to make ends meet on those notes, as we've seen during significant drawdowns, more significant than the one we are experiencing now, by the way. These other guys don't have it. They don't have that kind of firepower. And I think for people who are still wrapped up in this treasury company thing, you better find somewhere to go next. If you're working for one of these companies, if you abandon your former life, if you left your wife and child to travel across the country and become a investment officer, risk officer, Bitcoin specialist of these companies, it's a sinking ship.
The ones
and you can say, and by the way, you can say that, oh, well, Bitcoin is going to have value, and so every company will eventually have Bitcoin on the balance sheet. We're just ahead of the game. Okay, but Apple having Bitcoin on the balance sheet is Apple with a Bitcoin treasury. You are just an underwhelming Bitcoin treasury with debt notes that you can't repay. This is the difference. These guys are able to make 90% of the connections, and then that last 10% is where they're going to get their head chopped off. And you're seeing it. We were right about this. We have been right about this for years at this point.
The people that are running it, they're living the high life at the expense,
as we saw with Nakamoto's releases.
Yeah.
And by the way, they're not filing to the SEC anymore. They're just not submitting any.
So they're going to have to, right?
At some point, they're going to have to, for sure. But they haven't in the last 2 months. So
I recall correctly, I think it was Bitfarms that had a massive delay. I could be wrong, but it was one of the Canadian ones. It might have been Hot. And it was a very long delay before they filed their earnings. So this is not like never happens. It does happen periodically. I'm not trying to give them a pass, but there may be a reason why. The jet, when they took off, it must have fumbled the papers. It's now a fucking mess and
dropped it.
So they're just laughing at everybody that's invested in this, and it's sad. It's it's another sad one. I mean, a good segue would be everybody's buddy Do Kwon. He is now going to have to serve 15 years in prison for what he's done. So steady, lads. The capital is no longer going to be deployed.
Do you know what's interesting about the sentencing?
The government wanted a lesser.
His team wanted 5. The government wanted 13. The judge gave him 15 and pulled up tweets during the sentencing where he was talking about refusing to argue with poors online and telling people that were questioning him, sorry, leave me alone. I don't have any change for you.
There must be a reason for this. The judge must be buddy with some politician.
You think?
Fucking wrecked from this. There's got to be some connection here, because to go look, as you said, 5 years is what Do Kwon's team wanted.
Yeah,
I was reading 12. You say 13.
One of the two. Sure, yeah,
one was close enough to go to 15. That's a pretty big difference, right? For what they did. He was saying that a 12-year prison sentence or 13-year is, the judge's words, unreasonably lenient.
Yeah.
And so one victim told CNN that he divorced his wife, or his wife divorced him. He said his son had to skip college and he had to move back to Croatia to live with his parents after Terra Luna or Terra USD. Exactly. Keep playing that tiny violin, Joey. And it basically ruined his family's life savings. Another person said they have to live with the guilt of persuading this is brutal, his in-laws and hundreds of non-profit organizations to invest. How do you get hundreds of non-profit organizations? This guy must have had some real pull. Look, this shit, if it sounds too good to be true, and they were offering 20% or higher APY, I'm not sure why anybody was looking at it and say, yeah, this is going to be sustainable. And not only that, Joey, if you recall, if you had your stuff locked in and getting this APY and getting the interest, there was a lockup period. So you couldn't take it off instantly. And so as people were watching the value of Terra go down quickly, they didn't have the ability to take out and sell and convert their shitcoin into something else. They had to hold on because it was locked up, and it was forcefully locked up. Again, like I say, if it sounds too good to be true,
it is, especially in this space. How many different weird scams were going around back in the day? It was a wild time in Bitcoin, that era.
Well, we had just shortly thereafter Celsius, BlockFi, Voyager, and they were all offering some sort of yield services. And then
where's the yield come from? Where does the yield come from? You know who never worried about this? Ledin never worried about it. Good for them. But everyone else, everyone else, not only did they survive, but they seemed like the only one who wasn't outright scamming people, like knowingly scamming people and then going on TV and saying everything was fine. That's all those other companies you just mentioned basically had that. Zach Prince from BlockFi was on Animal Spirits. He was on Compound and Friends, like that whole network of podcasts. He was probably on Preston's show. He was on McCormick's show. He was probably on TFTC. Like you there's no penalty harsh enough for these people. There's not. As someone in the chat mentioned, the judge receiving letters from people who thought about ending their own lives after that disaster. Why should that guy get anything less than a life sentence? Honestly, what is the penalty for that?
I like
for that kind of damaging. You can't recover. And by the way, like in this economy, if you lose your life savings, you can't recover. So you're done. You only get one pass on this green earth. So you're toast already.
Who was that guy that put the tattoo on his arm? That was from Voyager.
It was
Voyager. No, that was
Novogratz.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Galaxy.
Idiot. That guy
from Galaxy.
Fucking moron.
Incredible. He put that. He was so fucking sold on that. He decided to put a permanent picture on his bicep. Good for him. What a stupid decision.
Total
and
idiot.
This is the guy that's running the company. If you believe he makes stupid decisions on his body, what do you think he's going to do for the company?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
If you can't manage your own body like that,
I can't even get a good tattoo, and I'm managing your money or whatever. Galaxy Digital, have fun.
And he may be doing well with Galaxy Digital. I mean, in the past little while, but in the long run, it just poor decisions.
I don't know.
Come out.
I don't know.
Let's talk about Ledger doing more Ledger shit.
Yeah.
This came across my X feed this past week, and I felt dirty just reading it. It was that fucking bad. Somebody posted that they got their hands on a Ledger Flex, and not just any Flex, Joey. This is a Bonk Inu branded Ledger.
A what?
Bonk Inu.
Fuck is that?
Bonk Inu. Some bullshit that cartoons and stuff like that. So Joey, this is limited edition, by the way. Limited edition. So the version wear apparel just keeps getting new editions every fucking week. They could add this to putting it into the hat. Imagine being a thief out there and you're going out, you do the $5 wrench attack, and you're getting your hands on the signing device. You open up, you realize it's the fucking bonky new branded Ledger. You know that thing is fucking stuffed full of garbage that can lose money every fucking day. Ledger could do so much better, but they just continually do this bullshit. Anyway, I do this story because I want to make sure anybody out there, having a Ledger is better than leaving an exchange. But you can still do a lot better than that. Don't look for being mediocre. Look for much better, especially when you're dealing with your Bitcoin. Something like a cold card, I know it, I use it. There may be something that's good to it, but I haven't used it, so I can't say it. But the cold card, when done right, works fucking great. Use it.
You don't really need anything else, honestly. I was talking to a few people last night at dinner about the wallet scene and whatever, and people are still not using cold card as top of funnel, but I do think that it's basically everybody's second wallet, right? Like once you realize what this thing can do and how much more secure it is, it's kind of an obvious jump, right? It seems to be the case.
We mentioned BlockFi. We didn't talk about Pomp and the shooting of the arrows and the.
Oh God. Yeah.
I've heard that.
Rocket ship. Get on
Yeah,
board.
somebody mentioned it. But
Him and his wife, who ended up like writing a book. He also just launched a company, I'm pretty sure. So these guys are all just launching treasury companies. His company is called I think the ticker's Burr, maybe.
we must have talked about it.
We
I've
probably
never held it.
did, honestly, but like it seems to me the scams
never
are just
held that fucking
so bountiful at this point that I'm forgetting week to week what we already shit on this program. But anyway, yeah, so he's another guy who's he's another guy who's probably broken the backs of a lot of investors over the years.
You think
and like I said, we have had people on this show who after the show tell us like big time names over the years. Okay, you can go back and listen or look and try and figure out who I'm talking about. But more than once, we had people tell us that they could not believe certain investors that friends of theirs got into bed with Pompliano. They all think he's a fucking idiot, all of them. And it's hard to disagree with that, honestly. So
you think he's taking a private jet?
I think that he realizes his public persona is taking a bit of a hit. He hasn't been asked to be on MSNBC, I don't think, in a while, or CNBC.
He ain't flying coach. I can guarantee you that.
Definitely not.
So,
definitely not. Yeah.
He's taking his own personally branded plane.
the pomp Learjet.
All right, this France, there's some interesting development going on over there. France lawmakers, they're pushing for something that would become law. It's through an amendment. So this will be amending an existing law. But you know what? It looks like it's at the final stages of being fucking put in place, which is crazy. What it is, it's going to mandate that French residents declare their Bitcoin holdings to the government. You have to tell them as long as it's valued over 5k euros and it's in self-custody. So if you have your own cold card and there's more than 5k euros on there worth of Bitcoin, you gotta fucking disclose, right? The question is, why is this needed? Why do they have to get this information? Why do they have to collect? This is now we know there comes something, you know, if you listen to us on Axis of Easy every week, you understand that these are honeypots.
You need to be listening to Axis of Easy, okay? Because we talk about this stuff. Mark and his team over there doing security and, like I always say, data breaching and overreaching. They are on this shit a month before it shows up in the Bitcoin space. You would know about this already if you'd listen to that show. I again, I'm biased because we do the show, but yeah, they're right about a lot of stuff.
We do mention that these honeypots and governments don't do the greatest of jobs with securing this type of data.
Yeah, that's one way to put it.
So now they're going to have a database of who has how much Bitcoin, that this could potentially be taken by a third party, a bad actor, and they could use this information. The $5 stale baguette attack will be a fucking reality as a result of this. Mark my words.
Yeah. They don't give a shit about like Somali migrants coming over. They don't know who the fuck is on these little dingy boats. By the way, doctors and engineers can't build a better boat than that. Okay, now I've heard it all. So they don't give a flying fuck about any of that. But if you hold $5,000 worth of Bitcoin on your Ledger, Cold Card, Trezor, whatever, they want to know. They want to know what you got. And we know why they want to know this, because they want to tax it. They hate that people are using outside money. They hate that no one trusts the state. Macron's, you know, in another world of hurt because of the stuff going on with his wife as well. Like, he's not that. It's amazing that guy has retained power for so long. He's been close to losing it a few times, but it always seems to pull a rabbit out of the hat, right? The Le Pen à le chapeau. but
Le Pen is, yeah, she's gone, eh? Like, she's been
Le Pen, the rabbit out of the hat. Le Pen is not because she's still operating. Her daughter's operating in France.
Yeah, I thought they barred her from running again for some reason. I
don't know. France is a lost cause, by the way. Like, just in general.
And they're getting cozy to having a war breakout. They're
doing the
conscription stuff. And
I know. That. I can't wait to go to war for my non-culture economic zone. My culture-free economic zone.
And they hold a nuke.
Fuck.
They have fucking nukes.
I hate these people
somebody
so much.
With it.
I hate them so much, Len. I can't tell you. I cannot tell you how much I hate them, but I truly
incredibly, we had the one in Australia, the guy in Canada. This guy in France is the one that lasted the longest.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Of all of them, like he's the last of them.
What can you say, man? I don't know.
Staying power.
He's got it. He's got the trick.
Wait, do you still solo mine? Do you still use your BitAxe to solo mine?
Yeah, it's over there. It's on right now. Yeah.
So yeah, some solo miner got lucky this past week. It made out like a bandit. It was a solo CK user, Beat the odds, block 927474 if you want to look it up.
Get it tattooed on your back, buddy. That's huge.
No. put on the forehead if you're really gonna do it. Fucking have a walking billboard. Fucking then people come after you. And of course, have the ledger hat on top of that with the.
Oh, need it. No, it's a must. Yeah, it's a must.
Yeah.
It's a must. Yeah.
You got laid that day. CK Pool developer was saying that the odds of this happening was around 1 in 30,000. And the reason why the odds were so decent is they had 270 terahash to win. Imagine this, Joey. You're now in a mining game. You understand mining. 270. This guy was dedicating 270 terahash. All the capital cost to purchase that, the electricity costs daily, just a solo mine. And this guy may have never gotten it. And he was doing that. And so good for him. And if by chance, you're trying to use something that is a little bit more modest, maybe a 6 terahash model, the odds of mining a block is around 1 in 180 million. 180 million.
So you're saying there's a chance.
There's always, every 10 minutes, you're getting that 1 in 180 million. Yeah. And so the hash rate for this guy, 270 terahash, apparently he had 3 different machines, each running at 90 terahash per second. So it sounds like 3 S19 models he was running. Yeah. And the estimated hash rate of the whole network was around 1.1 zettahash or zettahash, I don't know how to pronounce that, as of December 11th. And so this guy made pretty good, 1.125 BTC, and also just a fraction of a Bitcoin. It was 0.008 BTC in transaction fees. Yeah. So it's always possible. So
pretty solid. I like that. That's I'm always encouraged by those stories. I mean, obviously the likelihood that you hit with a bid axe is basically 0, but
correct.
Yeah, lottery ticket. I mean, here in Dundas, they're playing Chase the Ace. People are buying lottery tickets for that. The jackpot's up to almost $1 million now. So you could do that, or you could just run a home miner. And Boomer is right, saying in the chat right now that home mining is a great sub community. I totally agree. It's a really, really fun part of being a Bitcoiner.
See that banks in the US now have been given the green light. They could hold on to Bitcoin for clients.
This is crazy to me because a year ago, this was unthinkable. 2 years ago, it was not even on the table. And now we're basically one step away from Bitcoin as collateral with major banking institutions in the United States. What a shift this has been.
Yeah. So you're able to hold, buy, even trade Bitcoin using certain banks.
Yeah.
And Coinbase is involved with all this. They're offering up their crypto as a service tool.
Pump my bags,
to
baby.
These banks.
Pump my bags.
And one of the banks, PNC Bank, came out with this announcement. They said they will provide trusted, secure, and innovative digital asset solutions to their private banking clients. To the best of my knowledge, there's no ability to withdraw any Bitcoin. It's a one-way thing. You could buy it, you could trade it, but you could sell it, but it's not, you could buy Bitcoin and move it to an address that you want to. At least nothing has been discussed as of yet. Maybe in the future, who knows? But yeah, it's fucking nutty that they're allowing banks to do this now. So, and still the price goes down.
I know. That's the other problem. So all these guys are supposed to be holding Bitcoin, not selling it, and their price just keeps dropping. You know what's interesting too? This is unrelated, but MSTR bought $2 billion worth of Bitcoin over the last 10 days. And the price is still dropping precipitously. I wonder what the price would be otherwise. Anyway, back to the bank thing. How long until Canada?
Are we not? I heard there was going to be a mid-tier bank that's going to be offering this about 4 years ago.
We had a guest come on the show and tell us that afterwards. That's right. Yeah.
And it pumped the fucking stock up. That's a result. Yeah. I don't know. They're so conservative here in Canada.
Are they okay? Let me ask you though. Are they conservative because they're being told to be conservative, or because they want to be conservative? That's the question.
If they have the ability to make more money, would they do that, Joey? Regardless if it's at any.
It depends.
Risks?
I think it. I think it depends. I think you could make the case that banks actually don't want to do this because it will cut into their deposits. Deposits are the thing that matters for them.
If they could put a case forward that they're going to make more money, they don't care.
Yeah. Okay.
It's the bottom line for them is they want to make money regardless of the outcomes. The only thing that they want is just more. And so the only thing that's stopping them, in my opinion, is regulations here in Canada. Yeah.
Sure.
Joey, I think that's it for the Bitcoin stuff. I have a fucking ton
That's
Talk
great
about
because
it.
I'm exhausted, and so now you're gonna drag me through the mud here on another hour of fun. So let's get after it. I'm ready. I had a coffee beforehand, so I'm able to continue here. If you're on audio tomorrow, the rest of the show will release. If you're on video with us now on YouTube, Twitter, wherever, stay here, hang out, get a coffee of your own, get a nice stout beer. I bought some stouts at the liquor store yesterday. Had a couple. They're not bad. Get something, and we'll be right back. We'll see you soon.
Don't be a cock.
Classic. Return to the classic.
Just thinking about that today. It's been a while.
What do you want to start with here? First of all,
we got to do this.
First of all,
CBP whipping boy. We got to do that.
yeah. Okay. All right.
So the UK, we got to stick. Sorry,
Doug. Sorry, Doug. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
So welcome to the Sorry Doug segment of the show here, where we talk about
well, you know what? There's going to be a lot of domestic whipping going on. This is just more of an international whipping. So somebody posted a time lapse video of a car that was parked somewhere legally in London. I'm not sure if you saw this. Some city worker, I presume it's a city worker, decided, you know what? I'm going to fucking paint some lines around the car. And it's going to be some disabled person vehicle type of lines to note, right? So you had this fucking car.
Great description there. Disabled person type lines.
So it is fucking parked legally, and the disabled person vehicle lines were painted around it after the fact. The car was fine till the lines came up, parked without an issue, but then, the city worker had to do his thing. Now the car's parked illegally.
Whoops.
And, well, you know what? Didn't have the disabled driver tag. It got fucking ticketed because the enforcement officer came by, ticketed the car. Brilliant stuff. Changing the rules on the go. Them guys coming back from wherever. It's like, what the fuck is this line here? The fuck is this ticket here? I didn't see this shit before. He was lucky he was able to get his hands on these time-lapse videos. They decided to waive the fines. But what a fucking joke, man.
I love this story. That's a banger.
I love it too.
You know what's funny too? Like, the number of times you hear stories about, meter maids and stuff coming up to your car and being unforgiving. Come on, I'm about to leave. No, I got to write the ticket. I already started the process. How would you like to come to your car and see them painting a handicap parking space around your car and then tagging you for it? How would that go down? Like, what do you even say?
The stories
I already started painting the box. You're getting the ticket now.
I got a bud that does that kind of stuff. It's funny stories. But yeah, anyways, the Federal Reserve, they're going to be beginning reserve management bond buying.
That's right. It's not QE. Anything but QE over there at the Federal Reserve.
Different name. And they need this to do with liquidity, because they went with liquidity in the markets, and they're stepping up to the plate, and they're going to buy short-term bonds. Love to see this intervention. Don't let the market play out the way it should. Intervene as much as possible. The system is fucked. And right, this is a capitalist system, right? Like, you're fucking privatizing the gains, socializing the losses, and then in fucking the whole process, you're devaluing the currency.
Hey, come on, Len. The guy's got to do something over there. He's not. What did Scott Bessing call it? He said the Federal Reserve is UBI for economists. He doesn't think any of them actually do anything over there.
It's fucking throwing darts. They're tossing around 40 billion.
I love it.
Just like it's nothing. Like, when I spend $40, Joey, I feel guilty. But when they throw 40 billion around, it's just another day at the office at the Federal Reserve. QE, bring it on, man. Bring it on.
It's balance sheet expansion under a different name always. And I just don't understand why. Like, how do they think no one knows this? I started listening, by the way, to Peter Schiff's podcast again, because he's always good when the Federal Reserve is up to something. He's good to listen to. He's so funny. And he was making the case too that, like, you're seeing this balance sheet expansion now. They've never done balance sheet expansion while they're missing the target on inflation. And they're missing the target by about 50% right now. They're a little under 3%. The target, obviously, at least in name, is 2%. So you're watching them cut rates into high inflation while also monetizing debt. And they can say that they're doing it because the repo facilities are starting to get drained, like the reserves are starting to get drained. But I mean, the result is going to be the same. I think, and I said this to the guy at the bank when I redid my mortgage in October, September, whatever day that was, whatever month that was, that the reason I wanted to extend my AM out even further and lower my monthly payment is because there's just no way that the S&P is going to have a bad year when Trump gets to pick a Federal Reserve chair, when there's a midterm coming, and when the Federal Reserve, even under this sort of more hawkish administration or hawkish regime, is doing QE and cutting rates. You're gonna, whatever you put your money in, Bitcoin, gold, stocks, you will crush, man. You will crush because the money's got to go somewhere, and it ain't going to Pokemon cards. This is where it's gonna wind up.
It depends. Those Pokemon cards, you see that when they go on sale, the fucking rush.
If you got a misprint Charizard, hit me up, bro. Hit me up.
Is that the new ones? Because people are just going nuts whenever
the first set of Pokemon cards that was out in like the 99, 98 year. Those cards, if you have like a first edition, like Charizard, some of these other holographic cards, Blastoise, Venusaur, big money. Especially if you get them slabbed and graded, big money.
Michael Ma.
What is there to say? The dancer is. Are the Liberals going to wind up with a majority here? Because it seems to me that they're going to. And this brings into focus for people who think that voting matters. Okay, let's talk about two things related to voting. First, the story is that this guy crossed the floor from the Conservatives to the Liberals after the Conservative dinner party where he was, apparently cutting a rug. If you think voting matters, I got two things to tell you, and then I want to hear, why someone would continue to believe voting matters. Let's talk about the most important thing here. No one votes for the local candidate. They vote for the prime minister. So your local candidate could be, a stone or a finger painting. And if it was a liberal and you wanted a liberal prime minister, you'd vote for him. If it was a conservative, you want a conservative prime minister, you'd vote for him. I don't know anything about my local candidate. I don't even know my local candidate's name.
That applies for a lot of swing ridings.
Of course.
There are some ridings that are just regardless of who's there.
That's right. And so when people say that voting matters and I'm picking my representative, do you think those people feel like they got a raw deal because they voted for a conservative prime minister and then this guy crossed the floor and added firepower to the Liberal Party? Then I saw today that Minister Hodgson wouldn't give an answer when the reporters were asking him, do you think you guys are going to have a majority at some point? He just looked at the camera with a smirk. They're going to get it. They are going to get it. And then what?
The timeline was interesting because, like you said, he went to the Conservative Party. The next day, this is from what I gather. I got to confirm this to be true, though. The next day, 3:00, he voted in favor of a conservative motion or in favor with the Conservative Party. He voted in line with the Conservative Party. 3:00. 3 hours later, crossed the floor. So somewhere between voting and crossing the floor, he was convinced to switch parties. He knew this all along. This isn't the worst, though. People look at this as fucking brutal, blah, blah, blah. This isn't the worst. 2006, David Emerson was voted in Vancouver Kingsway or something. I forget the name of the riding.
Yeah.
As a Liberal. It was like mid-January 2006 was the election. 2 weeks plus later, the Harper cabinet swore in their members. And out comes all the, fucking McKay, all these people come out, and included was Emerson. Nobody knew he crossed the floor. This guy 2 weeks earlier was just voted in as a Liberal.
Yeah.
And then switch before they even fucking did anything, switch parties. That was the absolute worst, in my opinion. But this floor crossing bullshit, this is just part of the game. And
shouldn't be allowed. It shouldn't be allowed, I think.
Emerson, by the way, said when he did that, I remember you mentioned Garth Turner.
Yeah.
Remember that guy you mentioned?
Yeah.
That guy, he said at the time, he was in the Conservative Party, he said, you know what? Anybody that crosses should be fucking put to a vote. Then he crossed the fucking floor without even doing right. He crossed the floor to the Liberals, first independent. So you know what I mean? Like, say what you want.
Yeah.
There's enough evidence to show they're trying to achieve here, whatever, individually. But as a party, they're so fucking close to becoming them. But once they get the majority, even like it's going to be like just borderline majority, the first person that steps down because they're retiring or something happens, then they're back in the situation they have to do a by-election, and that fucking riding is going to be massive.
Right.
That's going to decide, do you have a majority government or not? And you're going to see them throw all the firepower into that riding, into that by-election to figure out who's going to maintain power. That's going to be fun to watch. Plus, Polyev getting his leadership review in February.
It's coming up. Yeah, it's coming up.
How could he stick around? How, like, he does not have control of what's going on. lost his own seat, a very safe seat. I know they redrew the boundaries of the riding, but still lost it. So he didn't even win his own fucking seat. Now he's losing what? 2 people's cross floor. One wanted to cross the floor, but they fucking did something. He's just retiring. So they're losing people enough. And they just had an election 6 months ago.
Yeah.
8 months ago. Not looking good, man.
No. Interesting times being Canadian politics and being an observer for sure. But the stakes are high. Like you're talking about abandoning the US as a, I don't know, military partner, trade partner, more or less, or trying to going to Europe. Europe is, a tire fire. So this is a consequential time. And if there's a majority, pragmatically, he's probably already got a majority, to be honest with you, between the Greens and the NDP. So we'll see what the NDP does for their leadership race and if that changes things. But, I don't know what's going to happen there.
The
Abby Lewis is going to wind up being the leader, even though I really hope it ends up being that Labor guy with the beard. He seems like he'd be great fun in QP.
So the Conservative leader, whoever it's going to be after February, they got to run a leadership. It's going to be a while before you know who it's going to be.
Yeah,
they're in a tough position.
Yeah,
what do you do? You're going to have this notion. You're going to see Western provinces talking more and more about separating. And as
been quiet on that front since the MOU. I will note that it's been quiet on that front.
Saskatchewan, there's been a little bit of a rise in the past little while. Okay. Not just that, you have in Quebec, Pablo Rodriguez. There's been apparently some corruption going on about his leadership when he got elected the leader of the Liberal Party of Quebec. And with that, if they perceive the Liberal Party provincially to be corrupt, that could bleed into federally. So you could then have a movement back in Quebec for potential separation, looking at these guys, they're corrupt, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So you're going to go to a sovereignist party rather than so that's going to be problematic. So if you have that, now you have on 2 fronts, you have people they wanted to have separation. What does a Conservative Party candidate do?
They have to rebrand. Like it's a huge rebranding exercise too, because Poilievre has been so divisive and so focused on TikTok that they don't really have a platform. So I don't know what their platform is. Yeah, exactly. It's going to be a huge undertaking, and I don't think people realize that. But
I don't know what their path moving forward is.
Yeah,
it's going to be hard for them to maintain a lock on Western Canada if they want to be a Federalist Party.
Yeah,
and it's going to be hard for them to make gains anywhere else if they don't want to be a Federalist Party. The Liberals, the one thing about them, they're going to eventually collapse, and it's just because no party is in there forever. Eventually, parties, the only one that I can remember that lasted forever, long enough, was the Conservatives in Alberta. Eventually, the NDP supplanted them, and also the Conservatives in Ontario. Then it was the Liberals that took them out in 1990.
Mm-hmm.
But eventually, they just, they crumble just because there's infighting. Anyways, the Finch LRT, Joey, you been following this stuff?
Someone tried to convince me that Olivia Chow has been a good mayor because she's reduced the city's debt by like a little shy of $1 billion in the time she's been the mayor, as if there hasn't been enormous cuts to services and other shit, and the city completely falling apart, crime-ridden, drug-ridden.
So you're comparing a time when they were spending like crazy, COVID.
Yeah.
And as you stop spending on those programs, you're saying that that's a success.
Yeah, shocker.
So, yeah, you cut off both legs, and then you're bleeding like crazy. Then you stop the bleeding. It's great because you're no longer bleeding, but now you don't have any fucking legs.
Yeah.
You know what?
Yeah.
The Finch LRT, Hamilton. I'm not sure what what's going on over there with the LRT, but I know there was lots of talk about them getting it. But
nothing's going on.
I you know what? I hope they don't get it because it's Bush League. Toronto got it. That's serving the northwest part of the city, an area that I'm very familiar with. I grew up in that neck of the woods, and it goes from Finch Station to Humber College, and the total length of the line is 10 kilometers or around 6 miles, depending which way you want to look at it. 18 stops in total, $3.5 billion to get it going. And so it's like just one funding round to the Z-Man, right? 3.5 billion. It's not.
Yeah.
But anyway, you know what? At least the money is being better served at the new LRT. It's not perfect, but it's better than giving it to Z-Man. But the reason why it's not perfect, it takes a solid hour to get from one line to another. In fact, it's so slow that a runner by the name of Mac Bauer decided to race it. And the winner, Mac Bauer. He ran the length of the line. It took him 46 minutes, including stopping at stoplights. So it's a pretty decent pace for a 10K. And the LRT took 1 hour and 4 minutes. He took 46 running it. LRT 1 hour and 4 minutes. Same length of time. Oh, sorry, same distance. They have no clue how to do public transit.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to take it, like public transit in general, you want to take a train anywhere, Joey, you have to be ready for long rides.
Yeah, somebody might kill you.
You might get shot.
Crack. Yeah, light you on fire.
Not only that, the cost is pathetic. Like you try taking a train in Canada, it's very. They're talking now about high-speed rail. I can't believe we still don't have high-speed rail, Joey. I did some searching about high-speed rail. Do you know who has high-speed rail? A country by name of Uzbekistan.
Yeah, Uzbekistan. Yeah.
They have fucking high-speed rail.
It's a hub for technological progress over there.
Their GDP is $100 billion. It's a fraction of what Canada's GDP is, yet they have fucking high-speed rail.
Are they a homogenous society culturally?
I would imagine so, yes.
This is ultimately going to be the problem for a lot of these countries. That what we've done, actually, Chamath talked about it a little bit on All In. I wish I could remember the exact quote, but I really did like it. I bookmarked it for Sip and Rip. Canada is being held hostage by its own stupidity. At the municipal level, at the federal level, provincial level, there's too many conflicting interests and competing interests that are related to cultural problems that we can't move forward. And you're seeing like the sort of most interesting lines to draw are if you look at the countries that are homogenous in terms of their culture and religions and stuff like that, China, Uzbekistan, some others, as long as it's not Islam, you're basically getting countries that are moving forward way faster. China is obviously the best example, and there's some other stuff that goes into that. But I would make the case that the reason that government is allowed to do the things they are and exist at the level they do is because there's the expectation that continuity is the most important thing and long-term planning is the most important thing. And so you end up with this dynastic way of thinking, and you just get all sorts of great stuff out of it. And over here, they're framed as a number of things that are not so pleasant. But Len, like we can't build a high-speed line. We can't build an LRT. My wife just wanted to go to Toronto 2 weeks ago for a musical, and the GO train wasn't running going that way from Burlington, and it wasn't replaced with a bus. It's going to be out for the entire month of December. Like what is that? Yeah, what is that? It might just be the weekend trains. I don't know exactly, but yeah, they're not running. And so like the little stuff like that is embarrassing, but it's so the expectations are so low now that no one even really talks about it. Well, it's not even a story, So I'm not sure what to make of all these things happening in Canada or not happening, I guess, in this case. But the Finch line, like, who cares? By the way, Toronto. No, it is a disaster. I shouldn't say who cares, but what I want to say is that it's very clear what the problems are, and no one wants to do anything about it. So whatever, let it continue to fall and falter and fail. And I don't expect it to get any better in the next little while.
All from David Miller, if you recall him, he was the mayor of Toronto. He was a card-carrying NDP too at the time. So is
that before Tory? How long are we talking?
Yes, he actually went up against Tory and he beat Tory. In one of the times Tory lost. And yeah, so his agenda was he wanted to make these LRTs all over. So you have the Eglinton Crosstown, you have the Finch LRT, shit like that. That's what he wanted to put in. You're taking a live lane of traffic away. You're putting in a slower service. And just whatever.
And it's done. The other thing too that we don't account for oftentimes in Hamilton, it's been particularly bad. By the time it's done, the technology is outdated. It's hard to replace, hard to repair, hard to operate because no one's using it anymore. No one's building these things anywhere else in the world. We're the only place. We're 50 years behind.
Maybe they are. I'm not sure. As long as it's like standardized dimensions. I know that TTC for their subway is not standardized dimensions. They got to specially make this shit for them. Let's talk about another beauty story. And I know this one's going to fucking rile you up. I'm going to butcher her name, and I'm sorry. Jolene Van Alstyne.
Okay.
And she's the one that is looking like she's going to be up for maid, and Glenn Beck wants to pay for her. So she needs to have something to treat her disease. She's got some sort of rare disease,
some thyroid problem, I think, right? Yeah.
And in order to be treated first, she has to get seen by a specialist. The specialist, well, she can't find a specialist. It's not possible to get it. So she's stuck. She's been approved for maid.
Yeah, she's been approved for maid. Glenn Beck picked up on the story and is going to pay to have her surgery done in America, which is like so embarrassing for us. The problem I have with the story is like it's not actually that she can't find a specialist. There's like 30 specialists that can do the review of her case, but all of them are, quote, not accepting new patients. So what? You're just going to kill her instead? That's the plan for the healthcare system here? Kill her. Okay. Well, I appreciate that MAID has to be an option for people who are going through terminal illness, who don't want to suffer or be, dementia ridden or things like this. I get that. But it can't be the alternative to finding someone who can review your case because they don't have room for new patients. That cannot be an option. That should be illegal. It should be criminal. It should be criminal to suggest it. And listening to her husband talk to the media asking the right questions. Does your wife want to die or no? No, she doesn't want to. She has no choice. She's in too much pain. No one will treat her. Free healthcare, baby. Free healthcare. We're in big trouble here. The new citizenship rules, Mark Wiseman becoming part of the cabinet now, or becoming some kind of role ambassador or something to the United States. Like these people want this country flooded with immigrants from places where they can't build 2-story buildings, where the museums have no art. They just have sticks leaning on cups. Like you have no idea how bad things could get here if we don't turn this around in the next 5 years. It's gonna be bad. And I see people in the chat talking about how Canada's in the fourth turning. Like, yeah, man, I think we are. I think we are too. It's hard to deny that.
Food banks. We talk about food banks quite a bit on this show, and usage is up. It's like a record high, and every month they keep reporting. Every quarter they keep reporting on stats, and it's always a record high, and it just keeps going up and up and up. Yeah. National Post came up with an article saying how food bank usage is being used by people who are defrauding the system, including recent immigrants and international students.
Shocking.
They say this has been going on for a while. In fact, this goes back to 2022. A YouTuber by the name of Mr. Patel, back in 2022, is an engineering student on a study visa in Canada, showed to his viewers how to get $500 in free food by simply visiting the food bank. And which very interesting, because I shouldn't be doing that if you're an international student. You obviously should be able to pay your own way. And he got a lot of negative press, and he deleted the video shortly thereafter. But then there was another one, a woman who moved to Canada from Nigeria. She uploaded a video of herself posting unboxing a PlayStation 5, and followed a month later by going to the food bank and her haul about getting over there. So you have people over there going to the food bank. They're able to buy a brand new PlayStation.
Where is that? Where is that story from?
National Post.
But where? Like, where is the PS5 being unboxed? Here?
I have the YouTube video here. I'll just post it.
Sure.
There's the YouTube video for that, and then from the same user, here's the haul at the food bank.
Unbelievable.
So yeah, man,
you can't get healthcare, and they want to kill you. But people come here from, again, stick and cup countries, gold machine gun countries, fraudulent countries. You see what's happening in Somalia right now, or Somalia, may as well be Somalia, Minnesota, with their defrauding of systems. Like, these communities don't care about you at all. They don't care about Canada. They don't care about your way of life. They don't care about being honest. And, high trust societies are really the thing you need to make modernity work. Certainly to make a welfare state work, you cannot have low trust societies. And we're importing people from low trust societies. This, by the way, the kindest thing I can say about them. There's many other things that I wouldn't say in mixed company, but they're just not the people you want around. And Trump is right. Yet again, Trump is right, if abrasive, but he is correct that you don't want these people in your country. You should. What's crazy to me? That suddenly it feels like just in the last 2 weeks or 3 weeks, this has been completely blown open. This idea that people need to be denaturalized and remigrated back to their homes by any means necessary. Just get them the fuck out. How can you not sympathize with that view when every week on this show, you find a story that basically says these people are incompatible with modern society? Well, remigration, if this keeps up, remigration is going to be the most measured response, because looking at what's happening in Australia right now and here and some other places where migrant crime is through the roof, migrant scams through the roof, migrant social disruption through the roof, there's going to be a lot of people who call for much harsher outcomes than remigration. And I think that the governments around the world need to be concerned about this. This is, by the way, why speech laws have come into focus for governments. The same governments who can't build high-speed rail find ways to get in line at the same time on you can no longer criticize immigration, Islam, whatever. Like, it's not a mystery that this is happening at the same time, although I think the boomers don't really get it. But you're really starting to see things change quickly here. And the reason you have Bitcoin is because you want to be able to operate outside of a system like that. You don't want your money being held hostage by someone who says, well, you said something mean online, and so you're not gonna be able to use the bank. That's the world you're in now, but it's going to become more obvious as the number of things you can't say grows. It's bad, man. It's very bad.
And there's one guy that I forgot to mention. He was interviewed in English. Wasn't his native tongue. He says, in line at the food bank, George just got out of the food bank line. He says, whatever is there in your own country, just leave everything behind and come over here. You can come here and taste Canada like me. And he's showing off his haul.
It's unbelievable. People should stop, by the way. Like, I was thinking about this a little bit because it's obviously like charity season, and, went to the grocery store yesterday and everyone's asking for a couple bucks for this, couple bucks for that. I'm not giving anybody any money unless they are actively pushing for lowered or zero immigration. I'm not giving United Way any money. I'm not giving Neighbor to Neighbor any money. I'm not giving my local charities any money. I want to see these people out in the media saying there's too many people here. We can't afford to bring more in. We have to stop. Instead of just asking me for more money every year. That has to be done. Has to be done.
CBC posted a great article, and it told us how we are keeping holiday costs down this year. Mm-hmm. Some of the tricks that they have gathered when you're talking to people, like shopping early was one of them. And that's actually a pretty good one, but skipping turkey altogether, I guess you could go for bread and nothing else. Yeah. And another one is only buying for the kids. This is what we're coming to, right?
Cool.
So they talked to one person, and one of my favorite quotes is, finally rid of the exhausting shopping rush. Sorry. Everybody felt more relaxed over the holidays because buying less, it's just a calming thing. You don't have to deal with the elbowing of the keeping the elbows up when you're shopping. Yeah. The rush of trying to find a parking spot.
Why is there a rush at the mall, by the way? Any idea? Why are malls so busy now? Anyone know? Can we find out about this?
What was interesting when I go back to my car buying experience earlier. I got it at a dealership, right? And because the one car I wanted, it was there. I was like, that's why I bit the bullet and went to the dealership. Holy fuck, Joe. I could not believe how busy the dealership was. I was expecting to be a ghost town.
Where'd you go? Oakville somewhere?
No, Toronto.
Okay.
Honda.
Okay.
I couldn't believe how busy it was fucking over there. Like, it's incredible. I thought nobody had money. I thought nobody was spending if they had. No, man. Every fucking seat, every fucking salesperson had people in front of them, busy, people chatting, shit being done. I don't know, man. Maybe my perception of what's going on is just fucking not a reality, but fuck, yeah. Man. But when I read articles like this, people are struggling to buy food, for shopping only for kids. Could you imagine, shit like Christmas? It's like giving gifts to your friends, loved ones, and not like picking and choosing because you don't have money. It should be time of abundance, right?
Yeah.
But whatever.
I agree. CBC also had an article out today talking about how Canada's inflation stayed flat for November, but grocery prices grew at the fastest pace in nearly 2 years. Like, do you know how worthless these fucking numbers are at this point? Yeah, go ahead.
You got that one?
You got that one?
No, okay, I got a beauty here, an absolute fucking beauty, okay, right? Sure. You want to talk about food prices? GTA paralegal. This is fucking great. He's offering pro bono services for first-time offenders arrested for stealing groceries.
I love it. What's the guy's name? What's the guy's name?
Oh, the coroners would love this. Silverstein, I think, is his last name.
All right. Well, good for him, I guess. I mean, I don't know. It's free. You know what? It's probably a good way to get your client list up because you're not going to be just a one-time offender if you're doing that. You'll be a repeat customer.
This stuff is fucking great. He's launching a holiday initiative offering pro bono services because people are, it's too much to pay for food. What the fuck, man?
Buddy, worth turning. Worth turning. How is that? Why is that allowed to be done? Like doesn't anyone in the police services or like the municipality have something to say about that?
He says he'll be offering up services to first-time offenders accused of stealing groceries out of necessity,
right?
At no cost to his clients. He said he's hearing more cases of Ontarians getting charged for stealing necessities, items like bread, eggs, and baby formula. So yeah, man, you might get caught, but good news, you're gonna get free legal advice as a result.
Society only works if people are not allowed to steal bread. Like you can't steal bread. It's just the way it is. It's not allowed. You can't do it. Ask these places like Chicago that have no grocery stores anymore. You cannot go this direction.
They have the government-run ones, yeah. So
yeah.
Another beauty article. This is from CTV News saying, this is the quote of the title. I don't even know the answer to this question. How did Canada's young people become its unhappiest generation?
Who could have seen this coming? How did it happen?
What the fuck? They're talking about this 27-year-old having to go back to live with his parents in Kitchener because he couldn't make it living downtown in Toronto. Like, let's be honest. Like, you fucking pay people to be home. You pay businesses to stay open.
Yeah.
Money get devalued as a result, and then salaries are not keeping pace. And young people take it the worst because they have the least amount of hard assets compared to like people in older generations. Somebody that has house or houses, it sucks to watch the value of their currency go down, but you have a hard asset and that's going to hopefully be able to sustain yourself moving forward. But somebody that's in their 20s or 30 that have fucking nothing, they just come out of school, they're fucking they have no fucking hope. And then they're saying, why are they the unhappiest? I don't fucking have a clue. Look in the fucking mirror. What the fuck?
It's actually like there's an economic piece to this, but I think there's a social piece and kind of an expectations piece too. I'm big on this idea that you have to be able to find a mate, and you basically get recorded anytime you approach a girl now. So you can't just like talk to chicks in the coffee shop like you used to be able to when we were younger. Third spaces, which are important for development and relationship building, places that are not work or school. They're basically overrun by third world hordes now. You can't go to the mall. There's smash and grabs and crime and annoying, groups of people speaking desert languages and annoying you. So you don't want to go there. You can't go to a lot of third spaces as well because it's just too expensive. Starbucks is not going to let you hang out anymore without buying an $8 coffee. So you have these problems where we leaned on these things for developmental reasons, but also for relationship building reasons, both platonic and romantic. And without these things, you wind up with kids who are inside all the time. And I think I said this on Phil Box's show, but I'll say it here again, just for those who didn't hear it. The biggest, most successful companies in the world, they're trying to remove human interaction from your daily life. They're trying to make sure you're never around. What's a good example? You're never around other people. You're not around strangers, right? And what happens when you're not around strangers is you don't develop. Your teeth are not sharp, to use that old phrase. And when your teeth are not sharp, you don't ever find yourself being able to demonstrate expertise. And when you can't demonstrate expertise, it's hard to find friends and community and things like that, but it's also hard to find a partner. And so you wind up in this spiral where you're just like playing video games, ordering food.
That's the one. The first you said the video. That is a huge problem.
It's hard,
right?
It's hard.
And
man.
I play my video games, but I have a fucking life.
I game a lot too, but it's an escape from my busy life, not my entire life.
Not a replacement.
Of
something.
That's right.
There are people out there, and the one thing I said this before. I think privately, I don't know. The one thing I like to watch on YouTube is trolling videos. I love trolling videos. I don't know why. It's maybe because I'm a troll at heart. And this guy goes on these custom servers like Red Dead Redemption, GTA 5, stuff like that, where people live lives on there, and he fucking trolls the fuck out of them. But the sad reality is, people do these menial tasks, like they work grocery stores in like GTA 5.
Yeah,
they're there behind a fucking counter.
Yeah,
they go to work. They come back from some shitty fucking job. They come home to pretend to like be in this different reality.
It's
brutal. And they're doing a shitty job. They're doing a fucking McWage job.
Yeah.
It is actually
crazy.
Another problem. Like, what the fuck?
And you don't grow like that. And there is something to be said about, I think, just the difficulty that these things present to development, and we don't talk about it. You know, I see Pablo in the chat saying Twitch is the new third space. I think there's some truth to that, dude. These kids didn't get a chance, especially now when you look at the COVID years, right? 2020 till basically last year, I guess, or 2 years ago. You didn't get the key developmental years. You know, high school for some, elementary for some, university for some. Those are big years. If you miss one of those phases, you're going to miss a big chunk of skill growth that you really do need in a lot of ways. You just become this online, screen starer, and you forget how things work and how people operate in the meat space and how social interactions work. And you forget what it's like to go to the bar and try and pick up a girl on the dance floor, go to the bar with your buddies and do some dumb shit that's not going to get you killed, but will give you a story to tell, and you'll grow from it.
Michael Ma, he knows how to fucking dance.
Yeah, he knows how to dance. But yeah, it's sad, man. And these media companies spinning up these tales about, it's the cost of housing. Like, that's part of it. Immigration, part of it. But it's a lot of things. And there's no easy fix for this now. And so, this is contributing, of course, to stuff like declining birth rates and marriage unhappiness and blah, blah, blah. So don't forget, too, that it's hard to find a job now as well. Third spaces for kids used to be their jobs. They used to go there at McDonald's and hang out, have fun while they were flipping burgers. Like, I remember working at Zeller's. I loved it. I made a lot of friends there and grew as a person. Pawn shop, same thing. It was a really good job. You got to be yourself and learn and grow. But without those opportunities, how do you evolve as a person? You can't do it in your basement. Your parents could be the best meaning people in the world, but you need to be with other people to find out what you are as a person. And without that, you're cooked, as the kids would say.
That's it, Joey. We're going to go to the Hamilton versus Brampton segment.
Brought to you by 256 Heat. Can you hear the miner? No. Is it running? Yes. A lot of people at the dinner are very, like I said, excited by the idea of being able to heat your house with a miner. So,
did you see your payday today, by the way? Like not brains.
A lot of blocks. Yeah.
Ocean did a heck of a payout.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's a lot of people using it.
Yeah, they're doing well. That's a good.
Juan is very busy.
Yeah.
And as a result, people want his services. People want his product.
Mm-hmm.
And when he was on the show last week, a lot of people inquired about what he has to offer.
Yeah.
The reason being, if you want to heat an area of your house or maybe like outside your house, like a storage shed or
it's a no-brainer, man. It's a no-brainer. Yeah.
If you have to heat it, you might as well use a heater that will get you Bitcoin, and you get that paid mostly on a daily.
Yeah.
Sometimes twice daily or 3 times.
Yeah. And you can set your own. If I want to help you with the flow, like he'll set you up with Coinos, and you can get your payouts every day if you want, or every few days. For me, I set it at a certain threshold before I get paid on chain. It's great. It's set and forget, honestly. So can't beat it. Go to 256 Heat, tell them we sent you, get a discount, and of course help support the show as well. So I'll close the chat. Hamilton man versus Brampton man. Here we go.
So 2 men are facing a combined 38 charges in connection with an alleged fake taxi scam, according to police. And they say that the incidents
this is so easy.
They happened throughout 2024, 2025. And usually took place at shopping mall parking lots. And a suspect pretending to be a taxi passenger would approach victims asking for help, explaining that he was unable to pay the fare because the driver only accepted debit cards. And once the victims agreed to pay to help and hand over their debit cards, a second suspect posing as the taxi driver would discreetly exchange them for a stolen debit card with the same bank. And the suspect would then be used at the point of sale terminal connected to a laptop to record the victim's PIN numbers. And then they go to town withdrawing money, the whole 9 yards. And a couple of guys were arrested, a 22-year-old and a 25-year-old. And police are asking if there's any more victims out there. Please contact the police and let them know what the fuck happened to you.
Yeah.
That's one story. So second story is we have a man caught smuggling 5,000 leeches in his luggage. And this guy was fined $15,000 after he was caught flying into Canada with a suitcase full of leeches. And these were medicinal leeches that he carried in his luggage. And according to Environment and Climate Change Canada, he flew from Canada to Pearson, and this was in a reusable grocery bag, of all places, by the way. And so within that bag, there's 10 small dampened cloths. And so a dog, what the fuck's going on, working at the borders, smelled the leeches, alerted the police, the people over there, something's up. They opened it, was like, holy fuck, there's some leeches here. Surprisingly, all the leeches survived, and
no leeches were harmed in this operation.
So apparently these are medicinal and they're used to stimulate blood flow. And these sell between $8 and $20 each of these leeches. So they're pretty prices. And eventually the guy pleaded guilty to violating the Wild Animal and Plant Protection and Regulations and regulations of international and interprovincial trade acts. So the guy was fined, and apparently the illegal wildlife trade is worth $20 billion a year. This guy was trying to take a bite out of that. And so they say Canada does not tolerate the exploitation of threatened species for profit. So leeches, stay out. So that's it. We have the guy with the leeches.
Not as easy as I thought, man. Not as easy as I thought.
Yeah.
Okay, let me give you my thoughts here. I really thought the first one was Indian Man.
I lost your audio. Yeah.
Well, I got unplugged there for saying Indian Man. Anyway,
you're back.
Yeah. But then the leeches thing. This is a tough one. This might be your best one yet. It's a leeches thing. You think, sort of.
Yeah, I know where you're going. You don't got to say anything more. It's just it's enough.
But the cab scam, plus the age of those guys, 22 and 25 or something, like that's like a kind of a new immigrant age, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, but it could be.
Give me second man is Brampton Man and first man is Hamilton Man.
So
the cab guy, guy is the Hamilton guy, and the leech guy is the Brampton guy.
No, you're wrong. The
Fuck.
Hamilton.
Wow, got me.
So the taxi dudes are 22-year-old Manir Singh, and 25-year-old Saeed Hunain, and the Hamilton dude is a Russian, Ippolit Bodunov.
Wow. How did I get nuked by that? I can't believe it. You got me.
With the leeches. Fuck.
Wow.
How the fuck do you get the? So he was flying from Russia to Toronto.
Jeez.
But that's the leeches could be right. Like,
yeah.
Let's be honest, right?
Yeah. I mean, they're swimming in the Ganges over there, right? So I thought for sure that was going to be the wow. Good job by you on that.
Yeah. See, initially it's like, it's not.
Yeah. Well done.
So next week,
I should have trusted my instincts. I should the cab scam. I should have trusted my instincts.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly that.
Man.
So next week, for people that are listening to this deep in the show, we have 8 different matches.
Yeah.
4 of them you're gonna throw to me. I'm gonna throw.
You already have them all?
I have all of them.
Okay. So I'm not gonna do anything. I'm not gonna do anything at all.
I'm gonna write them off right now, and people want them changed, we could change them. Okay. I don't know who's gonna get what, but I have Surrey versus Brampton.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
Okay.
Hamilton versus Windsor.
Okay, that's a good one. Yeah, like that.
Niagara Falls versus London.
It's like an OHL
Oshawa
tournament.
Versus Bradford.
Okay.
Markham versus Richmond.
Very good. Those are close.
Montreal versus the rest of Quebec.
Okay.
Calgary versus Edmonton. Prince Albert versus Newfoundland.
Wow. East Coast. Wow. Okay.
And Prince Albert. That's
going to the Maritimes. All right.
Yeah, I had to throw in one out east. So
nice.
Yeah,
I'm glad you got them all. I don't have to do anything. That's great. That's even better.
So I'm just gonna figure out. Maybe I'll just do like a flip of the coin or put
Yeah.
it in ChatGPT. Figure out who gets what. Unless anybody who has some different matches.
Send them in. We're happy to look at them.
Ideally, I don't think I want to give it to you later than Thursday this week. I want
Sure.
to give you some time to prep. That gives you 3-4 days to figure shit out.
Okay.
So ideally, I want to give it to you Thursday night after Access Easy. Here's yours, and then we'll go from there.
Sure. I'm in. Count me in.
Better than March Madness. I fucking agree. So
no NIL money here.
So this is going to be our show next week. There'll be no Bitcoin news,
Yeah.
no rest of the, this is it. And the week after, Joey, just heads up, it's going to be the 29th of December. It's another one. I'm not sure what we want to do.
I don't think we're going to do
Special
anything.
episode.
I think we might actually take a week off.
Ooh.
Maybe
Have
I'll
we?
maybe I'll re-release an old episode. I could do that. We have some ones in the tank that are favorites, but we don't really talk about them
we had-
anymore.
Yeah.
Some stuff that's off the feed, but we still have obviously available to us if we want to re-release them. We could do that.
Is it topical though?
Some of it's evergreen. Like we got a good Foss one that we're sitting on. The QTR
Did we
one.
ever release that Foss one?
We did. It has a special disclaimer on the front of it.
Yeah.
That I did after the fact because it was so harsh. That one was good. I have the QTR and Larry Lepard one was really good, and that one is off the feed now too. There's a few good ones. We'll think about something to do. Who knows?
You know what? There may be time that we just do re-airing of just old episodes for the next year and a half, 2 years. And it'll take
we could re-release big events. Like we could re-release the FTX crash episode, the BlockFi crash episode. Yeah.
Hey, you know what? Talking of reruns, I just have to say, rest in peace, Meathead. And I'm fucking shocked this happened. Rob Reiner.
Oh,
to me,
yeah.
he'll be known as Meathead.
Yeah. Greenlit
Fucking guy
Seinfeld, by the way.
He what?
He greenlit Seinfeld. He's the guy who greenlit Seinfeld.
I had no idea he was involved in that project.
Yeah.
So I loved him in All in the Family. He was fucking great. He was a Meathead. And surprisingly, in his younger years, he was more right wing than Carol O'Connor, who played Archie Bunker. O'Connor was more left wing at that time. And in the show, Archie was a fucking staunch right winger, and Meathead was a staunch left winger.
There you go. R.I.P. Rob Reiner.
Yeah.
Crazy story. Anyway, that's it. So we won't see you this week for an interview unless something changes, and then we'll be back next week with the locale battle, the jurisdiction battle you've all been waiting for. It's Monday night. We'll see you then.
Take care.